Welcome to today's edition of Rules Ready 2021. And as promised, we are going to discuss today unplayable ball, and we're going to also add penalty area relief. We have yellow penalty area relief and red. Under the new rules, a lot of the yellow has been removed at a lot of golf courses. There's still some of it, so we'll walk you through that. So two rules that really come into play probably at some point during your round about every time you play. Somebody in your group is probably going to deal with this.
All right, so now we're going to talk about unplayable ball, and I'm going to walk you through your different relief options. So let's say I'm teeing off from here, I hit a drive to the right, I'm stuck behind this bush and I don't have a shot. So my first option is I can always go back to where I last hit from. In this case, it would be the tee box. If you're in the fairway, you would go back to the fairway, and your divot would become your reference point. You would get a club link out to the right, behind, and to the left of the ball. So my second option is I can take 2 club links from where the ball is, but I must not go near the hole. So I can take 2 club links out to the left, to the right, behind the ball. Like we talked about, this area right here, this becomes your relief area. The ball must drop and stay in that relief area. The third option is I can take the flag stick with the ball to keep that point and go back as far as I want. So for this, your relief area would be the reference line, and I can take a club link out to the right, behind, or to the left of the ball. So just something to talk about, you might think every time you get to take an unplayable that if you drop it and you don't like that drop that you get another drop, but in this case, that's not how it works. So you might get unlucky, you might make a drop and the ball might roll in the kind of the same position that you had to begin with, and then you might have to take an additional unplayable ball. So I hope this helps. If you do get an unplayable ball situation, now you know your relief options.
Okay, so now we're going to dive into penalty area relief, and on the first one we're going to talk about lateral, which is marked red on a golf course. These rules have not changed at all. Under the new guidelines, when they came out, they didn't change any from before, except they took one of your options away, which is opposite side equidistance. So we're not going to even dive into that. That's only in place if the local rule is in place, and for our events, I have not used that the last 2 years. So first, if we hit a ball off the tee, it comes up here and it splashes in the water right here. Well, our first option is it's called lateral relief, and so we take the point where the ball last crossed the margin of the penalty area, where it crossed that red line. So let's go right here. That's our reference point. From that point, we have 2 club links, no near the hole, so we go out 2 club links, and then we actually go right back in here. So we have this little pie-shaped area that we're going to drop the ball in. So if we drop the ball, it must drop in and stay in that relief area. So we're going to drop it, and that ball would be in play. A second option is to go back to where we hit from. So this is option 1. We probably use that option more often than not. Option 2 is always to go back to where we hit from. In this case, it's the teeing area, so you go back anywhere on that tee and re-hit the shot, which would be your third shot. And your other option is to take the point where the ball last crossed the penalty area. This is it right here. And we can take that point and come back on this line as far as we want. So we could drop it anywhere back in here and hitting that shot. And sometimes that is an option. More often than not, like I said, it seems like this becomes our best option in lateral penalty relief. Okay, our second type of penalty area is a regular penalty area, and typically that's marked with yellow stakes or yellow lines. I do not have a yellow marker, nor did I think you could see a yellow line if I did have one, so imagine this being a yellow line. It's a green dotted line. That's a yellow line on both sides of this. Typically it's a yellow, it's marked yellow because it goes across the hole. You have to go over the water, so that's typically a marked yellow. They could mark it red, it would not be a problem, but a lot of golf courses still have these marked yellow. So let's say, for instance, I have my shot here, and I hit it here, and it splashes right there. So our option is, we really only have 2 options. We have the option, we can go back and hit it. So we go back to the tee. I guess we could always try to hit it out of the water, so that would be our third option. But our other option is this pretty simple one. It's very similar to the other one. We're going to find a point where it last crossed the margin of the penalty area, which is right here. We're going to go back on that line as far as we want. So we got option 1 and option 2. Okay, so let's kind of stay in the same situation. Let's say I hit this shot from the tee and it land over and bounce and roll back in. Okay, now what are my options? Same 2 options. I go back to the tee where I hit from, or I take the point where it last crossed the margin of the penalty area and keep that between me and the hole. So it went over, came back, so it went over the line here, went up on the hill, came back, and it went back over this line here. That's where it last crossed the penalty area. So now we gotta keep that between me and the hole and come back this way. You notice there's no lateral option up here. So that's where the red and the yellow is different. So we're gonna come back and get back behind the water in this case. All right, so let's go into one more option here, or one other thing that can happen. Let's say, for instance, my ball is in the bunker. And I hit this shot, and as most people know if they played with me, terrible bunker player, I hit a little fin, it goes over, it catches this slope, and goes in the water here. Okay, now what am I gonna do? Well, this is marked yellow, so we know there's no lateral relief here. So I'm gonna go back to the bunker, which everybody knows, and I'm not gonna do that. So my other option would be to find this point here, take this point, and go back as far as I want here. And if you know me, I would be hitting my shot from this side of the water.
Thank you for watching this week. We hope you guys learned how to take relief from an unplayable ball situation and the proper relief from penalty areas.
Yeah, I think next time we're going to dive into nearest point of complete relief, how to determine that, and then that kind of goes right into abnormal course conditions and taking relief from cart path, ground under repair, dangerous animal situations. There's 4 or 5 different things that we can work on there.
Yeah. So we always talk about the Pacers, and they do play again tonight. So we need this win. I think we're
on a 4-game losing streak.
yeah, we've been losing. Yeah. So hopefully they can beat Cleveland.
They're playing like my golf game right now. It's not very good.
Me too.
All right. Talk
Thank
to you
you.
later.